If you aren't seeing any results as a beginner lifter, you're doing something wrong. Because new gym goers haven't trained their muscles and their muscles aren't as developed, they can in the beginning really quickly build a good muscular base. So there's absolutely no reason for you to not see any progress. And in this video, I'll name the most common causes for not improving and finding a solution to the problem. So first of all, leave nothing for luck and do everything in the gym with intention. What I mean with this is that choose a proven plan, stick with it, and follow it strictly. This may sound complicated, but don't worry, I'll break it down, and let's begin with the proven plan. What I mean with a proven plan is that it has shown results. Other people have used it, they've become stronger, they've looked better, and they've achieved similar things to what your goal is. And basically, really, most workout programs work really good. The only thing I don't want you to do is, if you have never stepped a foot into the gym, I don't want you to just make your own workout program. Usually it doesn't go that good because you have no clue what you're doing. Just choose a program that someone else has made. Most popular ones like push-pull legs, bro split, Arnold split, full body, upper lower, basically all workout programs work. Yes, choose one you think you can live with. Look at the positives, look at the negatives, and then look at the downsides and think, okay, I can live with these downside, I cannot live with those, and then just choose one. The next part is really important, and that is sticking with the program you chose. You won't see any progress or results if you keep changing programs every 2 weeks. You need to choose a program and just stick with it. And then the last part, follow it strictly. This is just that I don't want you to skip workouts. Follow it strictly, meaning that if you're supposed to train one day, you train that day. Of course, if you're really sick or someone has died or something really unexpected has happened, it's okay to skip a gym day. But I don't want you to skip a gym day if it's just because you don't feel like it. I don't want you to skip a gym day because of discipline, because the lack of discipline. I also recommend that you only train 3 to 4 times a week. This will make consistency and following it strictly a lot easier. Most people can't stay consistent in a gym because their shoes are 6. Most people can't stay consistent in the gym not because of discipline, because they. Most people can't stay consistent in the gym not because of discipline, but because they're choosing a really advanced program for bodybuilders, for like real high level skilled people. For example, training 6 times a week. They're basically all their life is fitness, and then they wonder why they can't hold up with it, why they can't train 6 times a week and have time for their children, have time for their wives, have time for their work, have time for everything else they need to do. So, for all natural lifters, for all normal people who have things to do, train 3 to 4 times a week for the sake of staying sane and being able to train when you're supposed to train. Then, really important, track everything you do. Every single exercise you do, you write down. Every single rep you did, you write down. So if you did 10 reps, you write down 10 reps, how many sets you did, how much weight you did on that exercise, and even your warm-up, your cool down. You just write up everything. And after a couple of weeks, you will see if you have progressed or not. You will see real data if you have become stronger, if you have made progress or not. And this will always give you a goal for the next workout. If you see, okay, I did 10 reps last time, now I want to do 11. But it will help us to later on overload the weight. Use progressive overload. And this is number 2. We want to progress the overload. Because your muscles become stronger and stronger over time, it's important that you add some type of more pressure, more stress, more weight, more sets, more reps, so the muscles keep being pushed beyond their capacity. So if you're a total beginner and you have basically never trained before, and what you can do then is really simple. You do your workouts, you do your exercises, and every single week you add 2.5 kilograms on compound movements, which are these big movements, when you're doing squats, bench press, dips, shoulder pressing, leg presses. We're using a lot of muscles, these really big exercise where you're using a lot of muscles, you can do a lot of weight. Those are compound exercises. And isolation exercises, you will only add 1 kilogram. And isolation exercises, they only use often 1 or 2 muscle groups. Try to isolate the muscle. And because often these are smaller muscle groups, it's only one muscle, you only add 1 kilogram. But after maybe a couple months of doing this. It's very individual how long you can do this. You will not be able to just add 2.5 kilograms and become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger every single week. So what you will do instead is that you will have a rep goal. And when you hit that repetition goal, you will then add weight. What I mean with this is that if you, for example, do 3 sets of bench press, what you will do is 4 reps in the first set, 6 reps in the second set, and 8 reps in the last set. And what you do then is that you choose a weight you think you can do 4 reps with, and then you do that. And if you hit 4 repetitions in the first set, the next workout, the next time you do bench press, you add 2.5 kilograms or 5 kilograms, depending on how far you are into your progression. If you're a beginner, you can do 5 kilograms. If you're more advanced, you can do 2.5. And the same thing goes for a second set. All right, I want to do six reps. You choose a weight that you believe you can do 6 reps with. If you don't hit 6 reps, you do 5 reps. Then the next week you do the same weight. And then you maybe hit 6 reps, and then you up the weight. And then last set you have 8 reps, maybe hit 9. Okay, next week you want to up the weight. And after time you just up the weight, and maybe sometimes you see a little up and down, but then slowly after a couple months you really become stronger and stronger and stronger. But this is more, like I said, for advanced or when you have become over this newbie gains phase. When you still have newbie gains, you can put on 2.5 kilograms on compound movements and 1 kilogram of isolation exercises, and you'll become stronger, stronger, and stronger. And if you still are not seeing any results, you need to up your intensity, your training intensity. What I mean with this is that when you have a set, we have different intensities. If you have many sets and many reps, you often do low intensity to minimize the risk of injury. And if you have fewer sets, you up the intensity. As a beginner, I would recommend you that you do about 2 to 3 sets, and you need to actually have some high intensity to see some good progress. What I mean with high intensity, or better said, the optimal intensity, is that you have no more than 2 repetitions in the tank, or RP8, as we call it in the powerlifting space. But really important is that when you are increasing the intensity, you need to have the right form. Because if you push your body hard, but you have the wrong form, the wrong technique, you will injure yourself sooner or later. So therefore, if you really want to up the intensity, you need to feel comfortable with lightweight, not that high intensity. But often, as I told beginner, you don't train that hard anyway, so it's good to get slowly up the intensity to get ready for it, and then you're freaking ready. And you can just up RP8, RP9, let's go. These are the most common things. If you really still see no progress, it could be your diet, meaning that you're probably eating in a high calorie deficit, meaning that you're losing weight, meaning that your body doesn't have enough energy to produce the muscle, to build the muscle. It's already struggling to just keep your body running. Why would it put all of its energy to build muscle? So if you're doing all the things I've mentioned and you're still seeing nothing after a couple of months, you need to have some patience. Results don't come after 2 weeks. Good results don't come after like 1 day. You need to have some patience, let it pass 1-2 months, and if you still are seeing no results, no progress, you need to eat more food. But I have more videos on that on my channel, so you can check that out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know, and see you around.